In this video, I'm going to give you 13 questions a person with a growth mindset asks themselves.
Hey, Sua!
You'll often hear the difference between the fixed and the growth mindset, and how those with the growth mindset excel way more than those with the fixed mindset. A lot of times it comes down to the questions that they ask themselves. If you want better answers, start asking yourself better questions. And in this video, I'm going to introduce to you 13 questions that you can ask yourself starting today to help you nudge yourself into the growth mindset. Question number 1. What can I learn from this failure? If you have the growth mindset, you know that failure is a stepping stone and not a stumbling block. Failure is an opportunity to learn. However, those who have the fixed mindset, they view failure as something that's emotionally triggering, something that defines who they truly are. If you want to take your performance to the next level, you need to ask yourself, what can I learn from this failure? Question number 2. How can I get myself out of my comfort zone? If you want to take your performance to the next level, you need to figure out how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You signed up for the hard road the moment you decided to go after your dreams, the moment you decided to elevate your expectations and your standards for yourself. And so by doing those things, it requires you to get out of the status quo, to get out of your comfort zone, to look for ways to push the outer edges of your limits, physically, mentally, emotionally, and in every aspect, intellectually. And so one of the questions you need to ask yourself is, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to get out of my comfort zone? And as you get out of your comfort zone, what you're going to see is that you're going to make a lot more mistakes. But the person with the growth mindset also understands that making new mistakes is making progress in disguise. Question number 3. Am I truly giving my best right now? Your best is going to look different from day to day. You're not going to feel 100% all the time, but those with the growth mindset know that they don't focus on feelings, they focus on actions. So whatever percentage you're at today, whether it be 90%, 80%, or even 40%, instead of focusing on what you don't have to give, focus on what you do have. Give the best of your 40%. Give your best of your 80, 90, and occasionally you're going to be 100%. Maximize that time. Really ride that wave, but understand that your best will look different from day to day. But not feeling good is no excuse for not giving your absolute best. So the question you need to ask yourself is, how can I give my absolute best right here, right now? Question number 4. What can I learn from that person? It's very easy to be threatened, to be jealous, or to make excuses when other people succeed and you don't. When others succeed, it doesn't mean you're a failure. Instead of asking yourself why they're so lucky or why you're so bad, what you need to do is to ask yourself, what can I learn from them? How can their performance inspire me? How can I adapt their process to what I'm doing? Now, when you do that, you also need to take into consideration their circumstances, their situation. You can't just apply what other people are doing to you. You need to understand why they're doing it and then identify what aspects of their process, of their mindset you can apply to yourself, because not everything will truly apply. And so rather than getting jealous, rather than being threatened, and rather than just blindly adopting everything they do, be inspired, learn from them, but also take it with a grain of salt and adapt to your own circumstances. Question number 5. Who can give me critical feedback? If you truly want to be great, you're going to surround yourself with people who will help you be better, not just feel better. It's natural and normal to constantly want to be complimented, to wanting those pat on the backs and to be told how great we are. But if you truly want to take your performance to the next level, you need to ask people, what are your shortcomings? Where do you need to get better? How can you level up? The average person doesn't do that. The average person only wants to be told what they're doing well. Their ego isn't strong enough to be able to grow, to learn, to take that critical feedback. If you want to set yourself apart, if you want to adopt the growth mindset, you need to not only embrace critical feedback, but deliberately seek it out. Seek it out from people who have your best intentions in mind. Seek critical feedback from people who are really good in a certain domain. But feedback doesn't mean anything if you don't seek it out and if you don't apply it. So don't not only just get that critical feedback that'll help you, but apply it. Question number 6, what do I need to focus on? This is critical. Stephen R. Covey said, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. You need to identify what your main thing is. The person with the growth mindset not only knows what they need to focus on, but they also know what they need to ignore. They know what they need to avoid. But you can't identify what you need to avoid unless you sit down and truly identify what you need to focus on. Your attention is one of your most precious, limited commodities. So you want to be very mindful what you give your attention to, because you give power to what you focus on. So asking yourself every day, before every workout, before every training, before every meeting, what is my focus for this moment, will help prime your mind to lock in on the things that matter most, so that you can ignore the things that will just derail your focus. Question number 7, what do I need to change? A person with a growth mindset understands that they are a work in progress. They are constantly under construction. So if you think you're comfortable or you're set being who you are with the current skills that you have, you're in trouble, because the rest of the world is updating. The rest of the world is adapting. Your competitors are learning and getting better. Your business partners, your life partners, your kids, all your relationships, people are growing. So you can't think that you're set in your ways and that you know everything there is to know about your specific domain. What you want to do is you want to identify what you need to change. Philip Tetlock is famous for saying, beliefs are hypotheses to be examined, not treasures to be guarded. You want to take your current process, your current beliefs, and put them under a microscope. Where do they not work? What do you need to change? What information and process needs to be updated so that you can be even better? There's that phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I want to adapt it. Just because it ain't broke, that doesn't mean it can't get better. You're never good to be better. You're never good to get better. And that's the mindset of a person with a growth mentality. Question number 8, what is something I can learn? Now, this sounds very similar to some of the other questions that we've talked about. What can I learn is adopting the white belt mentality. The white belt mentality simply states that you are always a beginner, and to go into anything with a beginner's mind. As you do that, it keeps your learning centers in your brain open. It checks your ego at the door, and it helps you become a learning machine. And don't just learn from your industry. What can you learn from the greats of other industries? Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest examples of this. He studied music composers. He studied writers. He even studied sharks as he planned on how to defend Allen Iverson. That's a great story in and of itself. Who are you studying from? What industries are you trying to glean from to help you be better in whatever you do? Don't just get stuck reading the same books, listening to the same podcasts, and reading the same articles as everyone else in your field. Learn from other fields, and then you'll learn the benefits of having a robust collection of information to pull from. Question number 9, what do I no longer believe? That is a powerful question to constantly ask yourself. It goes hand in hand with the last question. What do you no longer believe? A lot of times, the things that got you to where you currently are not the things that are going to get you to the next level. So you need to understand, what are the things you need to shed? What is the information you need to update? Who are the people who you have not necessarily outgrown, but people who you also need to learn from to take you to the next level? There are certain things that you might be clinging on to that's going to impede you from getting to the next level. Things that got you to where they are. They're wonderful considering the circumstances where you were previously. but it's going to require you to unlearn certain habits, certain beliefs, so that you can have space open in order to learn new habits and a new mindset to take you to a new level. What's my body saying? The mind-body connection is incredibly important, and you need to pay very close attention to what your body is telling you. It will send you signals on when you need to sleep, when you need to eat, how much you can push yourself, or when you need to pump the brakes and to start to relax. A lot of people who are high performers will go, go, go and not listen to the signals their body is telling them. You can't be a strong performer if your body isn't healthy, if you're not getting sleep, if you're not eating appropriately. So listen very closely to that body of yours, because it's not going to lead you astray. Question number 11, how can I be an elite teammate? As the African proverb states, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to be great, you need to focus on being an elite teammate. The power of working together, the power of cooperation. Being an elite teammate will help all of you work together in order to achieve a common goal. Teammates can help you bring the best out of you. They can push you, and you can do the same for others. You can be a fountain for others, a fountain of positivity, of perspective, of hard work. And you don't have to be a vocal leader necessarily. You can be an elite teammate by setting a good example, by being the best version of yourself. So as you sit and ask yourself, what can I do to be a better teammate? You're gonna find instances where you need to listen better. Maybe with another person, you need to forgive. Maybe with another person, you need to push them a little harder. Maybe with another person, you need to just give them the benefit of the doubt. There are a lot of things that we can do to be an elite teammate, and it really depends on sitting, being still, and asking yourself. And as you do that, be aware that these answers will start bubbling up to the top. Then it comes down to acting on it. Question number 12. What are the brutal facts of my situation? A person with a growth mindset is not afraid to stare adversity in the face. This person is not afraid of the brutal facts. They're not afraid to look at worst case scenario, because they know in some cases it's inevitable. And that by looking at worst case scenario, it's not meaning that you're negative or you're looking at the downside. What it's allowing you to do is to prepare. Because as you stare at the brutal facts, what's going to happen is you're going to see where you can level up your skills. It'll help reveal to you where you need things you need to avoid, things that you need to get better, things that you need to prepare for in order to navigate the adversity that you're going to face. Like we said earlier in the video, you signed up for the hard road the moment you decided to go after your dreams. So someone with a growth mindset is expecting to get punched in the face. But they're not just expecting it, hoping for worst case scenario because there's nothing they're going to do about it. They expect these bad things to happen, and then they have a plan for how they're going to respond to adversity. That's the question you need to ask yourself. What are the brutal facts so that you can adequately prepare for when those things happen? And last but not least, question number 13, what is the bright side of my situation? Contrary to the last question, identifying all of the negatives in the worst case scenario, the person with the growth mindset is able to stare the brutal facts in the face and focus on what they can control, to see the silver lining, to see the opportunities embedded within the adversity they're currently facing. And that's something you can do. You just need to train yourself to do it. This is something called the Stockdale paradox, being able to stare the brutal facts in the face while being maintaining relentless faith that it will all work out in the end. As you train yourself to see the bright side of the situation, this will help you be an elite teammate. It'll keep your learning centers on in your brain. It'll help you seek opportunities, identify what you can control, and keep you in the driver's seat of your situation. Consistently asking yourself, what's the bright side of the situation, will help you stay positive in the midst of adversity and help others do the same. So there you have it, the 13 questions a person with a growth mindset asks themselves. I want to know which one is your favorite. Let us know in the comments and why. If you like this video, click the like, Please subscribe, and if you want to know when we release the next video, hit the bell and we'll let you know.